Part of me feels some type of way if I were just to put things out just to make a buck. That is not why I started this journey. That's not why I started on social media. That's not why I did any of this. If you're multi-passionate, I would say just try everything that tugs your heart at least one time and give it a good run. For me, it was mental. It was mental. Like I was always like on edge. And looking back, I wish I could say to that girl, like, just breathe. 'Cause I think that we forget that miracles still happen and God is still talking to us. We just need to listen. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Better Than Before podcast. I am your host, Yami, and today we are doing a little solo episode. If you're watching, I'm fixing my hair. You're probably watching and thinking, like, who is this girl? Her curls? What? What's happening? And yeah, the curls are back simply because I am sweating too much during the week to spend 2 hours doing my hair and then for it to sweat and just get curly again. So we have a little bit of the curly hair going on. I don't know how I like it with the highlights and stuff and just a different color for some reason. I just don't I'm not a fan of it when it's curly. When it's straight, I like it a lot, but when it's curly, I'm still getting used to it. So please, that's it. Anyway, I am showing up here in my sweats, no makeup today. I have my cup of coffee. It is so cold in Houston. It's supposedly gonna snow this week or early next week. I'm not sure where it is, when it is, but that's just gonna give you an idea of how cold I am. I'm in my sweats. I have a long shirt on. I just want to be in bed, to be totally honest. And after today's workout, which we'll touch on in a little bit, um, I like, have you ever done a workout where you just feel like zonked, for lack of a better word? It took me like 20 minutes to get off my mat this morning. I also have my coffee that I'll be sipping throughout because I've been waking up at 5:30 every day. And so around this time is when I need like a little pick me up. And also, again, it's cold. And when it's cold, I just want something yummy and warm and comforting, and that's what coffee is to me. So, anyway, for today's episode, I thought I would share some things that have been on my heart that I've never shared before, but also I wanted to kind of just do a 2 week check in, if you will, for the new year. So, today is the 15th, I believe, when I'm recording this, and it'll be out next week. So, it'll be a little bit, you know, um, a week after I record this, which is fine. But I just wanted to, like I said, check in, see how our year is going. One thing that I have, I guess I've always known, but it's just kind of now like, when you hear something time and time and time and time again, and then it's just that one time that it just clicks. And something has clicked for me, and that is the art of reflection. I think so many things happen to us day in and day out, and that we're always moving to the next thing, or just like, we're living busy lives that we don't stop to reflect on what has happened, good or bad, and it prevents us from number one, learning what we can change, what we can keep the same, what's working, what's not, and then two, it prevent or it what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of you start building things up in your I don't know what to say, like, your brain, your soul, your like, you start building things up in your body that you start to resent things without even realizing them. And again, that's the bad example, but this could also be a really good example. If you're doing things and you don't take the time to reflect on those things and soak in the that moment, I think that's also not great. So, anyway, with that said, I want to reflect on the last 2 weeks, what I've been doing, what I've not been doing, what I want to do, and so on and so forth. And something that I want to start doing moving forward is doing the rosebud and thorn. And if you don't know what that is, it is here, I actually looked it up because I don't want to mess it up, but it is it's an activity or a theory where you can share your favorite aspect or the most memorable moment from the week. So the rose could be something that went really, really well, something that was developed in that week. The bud is something that you're probably working on and then that you're excited about or not excited about. It could be like a challenge that you're facing or what have you. And then the thorn is something that is not great right now and something that either could be improved or just something that you're struggling with um, that's, not good because we all have good things and bad things that happen to us. And this is a really good way to kind of reflect on it. And so, with that said, I'm going to try to remember, but I want every podcast episode, specifically solo or with Taz, to talk about that, to kind of give you guys an example of what that is and also encourage you to do the same. So, with that said, let's do the rose, bud, thorn for me. And then I also want to encourage you to do this for yourself. Either share with yourself, journal it, or also you can also share it with your husband, your boyfriend, your best friend, your mom, your dad, your cousin, whatever it is. And it's a really great opportunity to communicate with that person and just get a little bit of insight onto how their week is going. And you know that with so many superficial, not superficial, but what's the word I'm looking for? Um, oh my gosh, Yummy, get it together. More coffee, please. um, Not super deep friendships. This could be a really good way to get into just not the small talk. There's a word for it, and I cannot level head. No, one level friendship. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, my rose, bud, and thorn. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. My rose is honestly, I'm really proud of myself for sticking to the systems that I've put in place. I have been struggling with that for a very, very, very long time. I could schedule the heck out of everything, right? But I sometimes it takes a lot for me to follow through with that. And being an entrepreneur, and I don't really have a boss, quote unquote, it could be very easy for me to say, we can move this around, we could do this. And I'm not saying to like move something else or something else has come up. It's more so like, I'm tired, I don't want to do it, or I'm lazy, I don't want to do it. And so or I feel resistance and I don't want to do it, right? And so by putting in the systems in place, creating um these times and all these things that have to get done at these certain times have helped me tremendously. I don't feel as much overwhelmed as I used to. The anxiety in terms of like I have so much going on, so much lingering, it's not really there anymore. Even recording this podcast, I'm exhausted today, but I'm still feeling really, really good and motivated to do this. But my first thought was like, oh, I can do this next week. I have time. But no, Yami, you have put systems in place to help you get further along. And so I'm really, really proud of that. I know it sounds so silly, but it is something that I have been working on. And like I said earlier, it's like something already clicked and it's been really, really great. So I'm very, very proud of myself. And I think a lot of that has to do with the word of the year, which is discipline for me and also heart. So that's my rose. My bud, challenging, something challenging. I don't know if I mean, everything's challenging, right? Like having a baby is challenging or a toddler in my instance. My car had to get a new battery, didn't start. It You know what? I'll say that. I'll say that that's the bud because it's not like terrible, but it's like annoying. So my bud is I my car didn't start 2 weeks ago and I was like, that's weird. So I've never had a problem with my car. I've had it for over 4 years. It's been great. And then all of a sudden it stopped has, did it for me, whatever the word is. I'm just a girl, okay? And, it was fine. 2 days ago or 3 days ago, also didn't start, and it was, like, making a really funny noise. So Taz made me an appointment, we went to get it checked. Long story short, I needed a new battery, and they had to, like, do something like, above that or on top of that rather. And it ended up being, like, over $800. While we were there, though, they tell me that my brakes are at 2 millimeters. I don't know what that means. I told Taz, I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Well, they're gone." So I had to get my brakes changed, and I just dropped it off today, and that's gonna be over $1,000. And so, it's fine, but it's just kind of annoying. Um, and I was talking to somebody, and I was saying how, you know, the way I was raised, I wasn't raised with a lot of money. My parents were not super wealthy. We had to work for a lot of well, everything that we had. My parents are immigrants, just to paint a picture. We were not by any means rich and we struggled. So for me, thinking I have to pay over $1,000 for my car, it's just like we could use that money for something else. And I was talking to somebody and I was like, I have to change my mindset and say, you know, thank God I have that money. We have an emergency fund for the emergencies. And so um instead of saying I have no idea where I'm going to get this money from, I have thank God that I have it, and I have to um come at that from a not a lack perspective, but a gratitude perspective, and that actually really helped me. So, I went off on a tangent there, but that was my bud. Again, it's not the end of the world; it'll be fine, and thankfully, we have the funds to do so, which is why we've been putting money to our emergency fund for things like this. But still, like, I guess it's just like not fun money, or yeah, not fun money. Like, I'm not gonna get anything out of it. I'm gonna get safe car, which is what we need, but, like, it's not like I'm buying a new purse or like a I don't know, you get it. Okay, and then my thorn. It's not necessarily my thorn, but something that has been very heavy on my heart these past 2 weeks, however long it's been, is, the fires in California. I personally know one friend who lost everything. Um, Her neighbor actually texted her 45 minutes before her house burned down and said, "There's a fire over the hills. Get out, evacuate." And I'm getting chills talking about this because I just can't even imagine. Um, she had time to grab her dog's vet papers, her passport, and she left. She just didn't even pack anything. Oh my God, the chills. I can't. She left with just the clothes on her back, and thankfully she's fine, but her entire house just burnt down, and I just feel horrible. There are so many people that are dealing with that, and I've been hearing that people are, like, rent gouging now, which is, oh my like, so inhumane, and so, while it's personally not my thorn, and, although I've been to LA thousands of maybe not thousands of times, but it's still like, it's not home for me, obviously, and it doesn't hit me in that way, but it hits me in, like, a humanity way, like, I it's kinda the same thing with Gaza, right? Like, it's just like, people shouldn't have to go through this, the loss that people are facing, entire homes just wiped, memories cleared, like, it's just such a sad thing, and it's been really hard to see that and feel helpless because, yes, you can donate, you can do all this, but like, I can't imagine being that person that lost everything and you literally have nothing anymore. It's just so insane to me. So, if anybody from California is listening, just know that we're still thinking about you, praying about you. I'm praying for peace over your life, and I just pray that you can rebuild your life slowly um, and just know this is not the end. And see, I just feel so silly even saying that because, like, it's just, oh my gosh, it's a really big thorn. And I just can't imagine going through that. So, so yeah, those are my rose, bud, and thorns. Like I said, I encourage you to do it with yourself, maybe journaling it or talking to a friend about it. Hold on, coffee break. And I have a list of things that I wanted to chat about so I don't forget. Oh, I have down everything showers because I have so many questions about this on Instagram. I posted a picture of me like getting out of the shower, not naked, obvi, but it was like steamy and whatever. And I said, first everything shower of the year, and this is my new tradition every Saturday. And everyone's like, "What's an everything shower? What's an everything shower? What's an everything?" And I was like, "How do people not know what an everything shower is? It's like the most magical thing in the world." So an everything shower is when you literally do everything that you need to do in one shower. Because I don't know about you, but I don't have time every single day to do everything that I have to do. So for me, and I will say caveat, an everything shower could look different for different people. So for me, an everything shower is washing my hair, putting in a treatment in it, exfoliating my face, exfoliating my body, shaving, lathering, obviously. I also have like an oil thing for the shower. Once you lather, you do that after. I do that too. And then oh, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot dry brushing. So you dry brush in the beginning before you get in the shower, and then everything else that I mentioned. I said shave, I think. Um, I think that's it. I don't think I'm missing anything. It feels a lot longer when I'm actually doing it than what I just said. But Um, excuse me. I know a lot of women that shave every day. I just don't have that much hair to shave every day, so I do it weekly or whenever I need to. But the everything shower, it kinda just feels like a huge reset, you know what I mean? And I don't wash my hair every single day or every other day for that matter. It's usually weekly or biweekly, to be honest. And so when I wash my hair, it feels so good, and just getting out of that shower just makes, oh my god, it's just great. But one thing I will say is try to make it a ritual. So last year I started doing this, like, honestly, I said it put it on my schedule and I never committed to it, and so I only did it when I remembered, which is awful. But this year, I started on the 1st Saturday of the year, and I was like, "This is the year that this will be my routine every single Saturday." And if I forget a day or if I don't have time, that's totally fine. But I look forward to it now because of the ritual that I've created. So you want to set up, either candles or whatever, and what mine looks like is I dry brush first. I've just started dry brushing. I tried it a couple times last year, but again, I didn't stick to it. And I want to get my HRV up. I have an aura ring, and I've heard dry brushing helps with your lymphatic system, your nervous system. And so I was like, why not? It doesn't hurt. So I'm trying that. So I dry brush and then I get in the shower and then, I'll have music playing or I'll have a YouTube video on, something that's just gonna like it's like your spa at home. Whatever you resonate with, you can put on. And then I just do everything that I need to do, shave, exfoliate, lather up, wash my hair, a treatment for my hair, face mask if you want, etc., etc. And then that's it. That's literally it. And then obviously you get out of the shower and you lotion up and you just literally feel like a new person. Put on your robe after, do a face mask, maybe some steam in your face. Honestly, it is a dream. And for me, I find that that works. Obviously, I have a toddler, so I can't do it when she's there because she will be right next to me. I tend to do it when she's napping. So I have the 2 hours or whatever it is to do so. It doesn't ever take me 2 hours, but I have that gap where I can. So, anyway, that's what an everything shower is, and I hope that you put it into your routine because it is amazing. Coffee break. Okay, let's see. We are at 16 minutes. Okay, good. We're doing time. We're doing good. So, a lot of you asked on Instagram for a couple things, and I'm just going to touch on those. So, somebody asked me to speak on postpartum body image and weight loss. Oof. You know, I've been reflecting this a lot because it's hard. And it almost feels like it's been ages since I was postpartum. I feel like myself again, thank God. And I think it's because a lot of the work that I put in, and it's been a long road, but if you're in the thick of it right now, I want to encourage you that this is not how it's going to be forever. I know that it's very, very hard and you feel like you're in this dark cloud maybe and you won't ever get your body back and you don't look the same anymore. And I want to encourage you that you're right, you probably won't get your body back because you'll never go back to what you used to be. But that's what's so beautiful. You're going to come back and you're going to emerge as this beautiful new person that has birthed a child, maybe two, and or three or four, whatever it is. And you have emerged as this beautiful new person. And I think that we put so much pressure on getting our body back that we forget that we don't want to go back. We want to move forward. And maybe that looks like a little bit different for you. Maybe you won't get that body back, but maybe you'll come back stronger. Maybe you'll be fitter. Maybe you'll be, I don't know. I just want us to take away the the focus off of that pre-baby body, you know what I mean? I don't look the same as I used to, and it's a very clear difference of when, like, you can see pre-Luna and post-Luna, and I'm not saying that post-Luna is bad because she's not. I just sorry, I'm just, fixing myself. I'm not saying that what I look like right now is bad because right now I feel good. I did gain a little bit of weight during the holidays, which we'll touch on in a second. Um, but I don't feel like I did newly postpartum, obviously, but I feel good. And when I compare videos or pictures of me before Luna I might have been a little bit thinner, maybe weighed a little bit less, but I am not looking at that person wishing I was that girl again because I have worked so hard to where I am right now that I feel good where I am. Do I want to improve things? Yes, of course. But I don't want to, like, I don't sit there and I don't look at a picture and I don't longingly say, oh, I want that back. What's interesting, actually, before I gave birth to Luna, I would obviously ebb and flow through my weight and I had body fluctuations. And then I would see pictures of me like when I was competing at my thinnest, at my strongest, whatever. And I'd be like, I'd give anything to be back. And I don't think I've ever said that now. I have a whole new mindset since giving birth and being a mom that I'm actually very, very thankful for. So, with that said, postpartum body image, I'm gonna say it, it's gonna sound like a broken record, I think we all say it. You have to give yourself grace. You just birthed a child. You know what I mean? And I know society is always telling us, like, "Hurry up and get fit," but, like, you have time, okay? You have time. All you have to do is focus on your baby and focus on you. When you're ready, the weights will be there. We will be waiting for you with open arms. There's no rush. Um, and I think that takes the stress off of it because your body knows when you're stressed and it prevents you from losing that weight, or it makes it harder, I should say. Um with the weight loss, I think I didn't think about weight loss at all for a very long time after giving birth. I just wanted to spend that time with Luna. I wanted to soak it up. I wanted to honestly stop time. I didn't care how much I weighed. I didn't even step on the scale, I don't think. And if I did, I don't remember. um, and, you know, I think well, I think it was, let's do some math here. September, October, November, December. I think I started working out consistently 2 months, 2.5 months after she gave birth. And I will say I wasn't like rushing to get back to workouts to lose weight. However, when I started working out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. And that was where I struggled, I think. I struggled mostly because everything just felt so hard. Moving did not feel good. I felt like a complete stranger in my body, and that's what took a toll on me. Um, Not moving the way I was able to move before. And honestly, and it's not like a fun, sexy response or answer. I had to take it day by day and I had to talk to myself and say, this is not the end. Give yourself grace. I had to look at Luna and say, you came out of me. I birthed you. Um, and the fact that a reverse lunge feels hard right now, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Here I am now, 2 years later. I can do a reverse lunge with no problem. So it's not like you're going to be there forever. And I just want to stress that this is not the end for you. Um, and then also, like, think about your child and think about how proud, that was weird, sorry, how proud they're gonna be of you when they hear your story, when you tell them that, yes, you might have struggled for a couple months, but then, like, I don't know why I wanna say, like, rising from the ashes because and especially if you're dealing with some postpartum depression and anxiety, like, I dealt with that, so I know how hard it is to get up and moving. So just imagine that story and, let that encourage you. So I hope that helps. If you want me to touch any deeper on like postpartum depression or whatever, just let me know in the comments and we can do a full episode on that. But I do want to go through what everybody has been asking. So, um, okay, let's see. With weight loss, what about logging calories? I know that's a controversial topic, but I'd love to hear your take. So, I wouldn't necessarily say logging calories is what I would consider beneficial, your macros. So if you don't know what macros are, it is simply your, macronutrients that your food has. So let's just say, an egg. An egg has protein and fats, whereas bread is, carbs and a little bit of fat, a little bit of protein, depends on what kind of bread. But it's essentially your carbs, proteins, and fats. And so each person, if you're following, the protocol of macros, like tracking your macronutrients, your macros, you would just have to figure out what your macros are. So what is your your range for eating carbs, proteins, and fats. For instance, you need your height, your weight, your age, and your activity level for the week. And you plug those in and you can figure out how much of what you need to either lose weight, maintain weight, or gain muscle. And so, with that said, um, it varies person to person. I should say that. So, my macros won't necessarily be your macros, and vice versa. I think, excuse me, oh, there it is. Excuse me. I think that counting macros is extremely beneficial, especially if you are in the beginning stages of your wellness journey, your fitness journey. Do I think it's great for ever? No. No, I don't think so. I think it's a tool that you could use to help you get from A to Z and hit your goals. I think that it could be easy to get consumed in hitting the macros and hitting those numbers perfectly. And that's where I would say, be mindful that this is just a tool. It is not something that you have to stick to 24/7. Life happens. That's the beautiful thing about it's called flexible dieting, right? It's if you guys have been around for a long time, like the gym bros used to say flexible dieting because essentially you could eat whatever you want that fits within your macros. Um, so that's why I would always say macros over either calorie counting or a meal plan because meal plans are just so they box you in, right? And so you're eating the same thing every single day or every 2 days or whatever it is. And then once you are done with that program or that diet, you're kind of left in the dark. You're like, "Okay, so how do I eat now? What do I have to follow this meal plan forever?" And I think that is not the best way to either lose weight or gain muscle because like I said, you're in the dark after you finish that meal plan, right? So that's why I will always, and I will die on this hill, I will always say that macros are better than a meal plan or a calorie counting. Because if you're calorie counting, you might just be eating, I don't know, too many carbs and not enough protein. You'll never know if you're hitting your protein goals. Whereas if you're doing macros, let's say you have to hit 140 grams of protein a day, you can fix your diet to go ahead and meet those goals. Again, I can go a little bit deeper on macros if you guys are interested in that, but um macros, I would say it's like Tetris. It's like figuring out, what foods would hit your goals, um, and then going from there. So, I hope I answered your question. I think counting macros is a great, 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 great tool, but I think also there comes a time where you are good and you understand the, what's the word? Like you understand what a chicken has. You understand what bread has more carbs than anything. You understand that avocado has more fat than anything. You understand that peanut butter has more fat. And so, oh, sorry, I hit my mug on the microphone. And so there's going to come a time where you understand that, and I think that's the time that you don't necessarily need to track your macros anymore because you are educated enough to make the right decisions for your body. Hope that made sense. Let me know if it didn't. Or if you want me to kind of just expand on that, I would for sure love to. Okay. Being a business owner, lifestyle creator, and being multi passionate, how do you balance it all? I think balance is a funny word because anybody that knows or anybody that's doing a lot of things, they know that balance is unattainable. Something will always, and I don't want to say suffer, but something will always not be as something will always not be the priority, if that makes sense. And you have to decide if you are okay with everything kind of being um okay or if you want something to be excellent. And that is something I've had to learn through my experience. I have so many different things. A podcast, for example, I started that and I had to drop it because I did not have the bandwidth or the time, or I didn't have anything like to make it happen. And so I literally just it just fell by the wayside, and I hated that it did. I was full of shame because I was like, "Dang it, I set out to do this and I didn't do it." And I think there was a lot of reasons why I didn't fail or why it failed. I wouldn't say failed. Okay, I just paused it. I would say it's because I had those systems in place that I didn't follow. I was not being disciplined enough, and um, it just happened. Um, Although I will say that other things took the priority, the Fit Club, my app, and that's going well. We've released so many programs this year. So, like I said, some things will naturally fall by the wayside, and that's okay too. I think that we have to again reflect on what's going on in our lives and see, well, why did this fall by the wayside? Why did I let that go? Do I not want to do it anymore? Does it not bring me joy? Is it just something that I want to pause for now? Do I even want to do this, or did I see somebody else do it and I think I want to do it? There's so much, and I think it's going back to that reflection and meditating on that so that you are able to make decisions that you want to make, and it's being led by your intuition and your soul and your mind and nobody else, because it's very easy to see somebody doing something and think that you want to do it yourself. That's happened to me a couple times, and it's bit me in the butt also a couple times. So again, and I am one that is so for trying new things. If something is in your heart, it was put in there for a reason, and I will always say to follow that and test it out, because you'll never know unless you try, right? Like for instance, for the app, like something in me was like, okay, yeah, I never thought I would have a fitness app. Like, who am I to have a fitness app, right? But something in me was like, no, you have to go. If you have to go for it, this is different. This is different. And speaking transparently and candidly, like in terms of business and things that have quote unquote taken off for me, the app has been number one without a doubt. I don't even have to think about it. Like I really do not have to think about it. Lavavi, we did, we did good. We'd actually never sold out. I always hit let me clarify that. We never sold out, like, on a launch. We've sold out from, things, but it took a minute. But I was never one of those brands that would sell out in less than 24 hours, and that's okay. For me, a successful launch would be, like, if I broke even, if I got that back, and I always did. And, but again, I wouldn't say that it was the most successful brand that I've done. I'm still going back and forth, if I'm being completely honest, about, do I wanna do it? Do I wanna not? Like, do I wanna keep pursuing that? I think right now I have so much going on, and I'm enjoying this part of my life, and I miss Lavavi, and I miss doing it, but you can't do everything excellent all at once, and I am finally learning that. It took me, like, being super sick to be like, "Okay, you know what? Maybe I should just take a step back." Um you can't do everything excellent all at once. You can do everything excellent at different times. And I think this is so much more convoluted than just like a yes or no answer, because you also have to, for me, I think that there's not enough time left. Like I'm running out of time and I have to do everything right now, when that's truly not the case, and I know that. Like, when I think about it logically, I'm like, "Oh, of course not, I have plenty of time." But when you see social media and everybody launching these brands and selling out and this and that and expanding and this, I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm running out of time." Like, I get anxiety thinking about it, because every company is moving so fast and a new launch every single week, and it feels like I'm just, like, back in the dust, you know what I mean? And when I sit with that and sit with my feelings, and I'm like, "Wait, do I," like, instantly I'm like, "Oh, my brand should be doing that. Lavavi should be doing that. We should have a launch at least once a month, if not once every 2 weeks." And I'm like, "Ch ch 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 chill." For me, I don't wanna launch something every single week for a couple different reasons. Number 1, that's just not sustainable. Number 2, I don't shop that way. Number 3, I don't want you to spend your money every single week on something new. Like, what? And we can go off on a tangent here, but and that's just my, I guess, values, my brand values. I never uh, and I did a podcast with a friend, or I was in her on her podcast, and I said something on her podcast, and I said, "Money was never the driving force for me." And I also say that that might be why I'm the way that I am in terms of business. Like, I'm never, not influenced. I'm never motivated by money. Like, sometimes I wish that I were, because maybe I'd have a better business mindset, but that's just not how I'm built. I am more built on community and intentionality and um I guess sustainability. Yeah, I don't part of me feels some type of way if I were just to put things out just to make a buck. And that is not why I started this journey. That's not why I started on social media. That's not why I did any of this. And so all that to say is that's why I've, paused Lavavi because I want to do it with intentionality and I won't put something out just to put something out because again, circling back, I can release any legging, but is it gonna be a good legging? You know? Is it gonna be a great it might be a good legging, but is it gonna be a great legging? Like, and I am done with just doing everything semi good. I want everything that I do be with the heart that I have, the word of the year, and then also with excellence because there's too much mediocrity going around, and I don't wanna put that out. Like, the world does not need more mediocre. The world needs great, and I refuse to do that, and I don't even know I went off on this super long tangent, and I appreciate you guys hanging on with me, but it was just, being the business owner and being the lifestyle creator and how, being multi-passionate and how all of that is balanced, it's very hard. And I probably didn't answer your question, but I will say that's like the business aspect of it. Now being a lifestyle creator, I only have one um viewfinder for that, right? I am a lifestyle creator, yes. However, I also have a couple brands. And so I don't know what it's like to just be the lifestyle creator. I think I did back in the day when Instagram wasn't even a business. And I honestly don't even remember. I had a job at the time. I was doing a couple different things, but I had no brands. And so now I see these lifestyle creators and I'm like, I wish that's all I did. It's like I girl bossed too hard and I have all these brands. But that's like a fleeting thought, right? I obviously love the brands that I've built. And at the end of the day, I was put on this earth to feel something with somebody, like, I have that connection, that's what I want, I want connection, I don't want to just I don't know, and I think I've said this before, like, I love fashion, but I won't ever be like the fashion girly, and that's totally okay because I wanna provide more than just like, that's not my forte, 1,000% it's not, but I wanna provide more than just, like, how to put this outfit together. Not that that's a bad thing because I need help I have influencers that I follow simply for that because I need it. But for me, I feel like my why was more than that. And so all that to say is that I do not know how um like, I can only speak on my experience, and my experience is while I'm a lifestyle creator that shares, fitness and health and wellness and family and recipes and skincare, and I share it all. But I also have those 2 brands that I'm juggling as well. So I would imagine it's a little bit I don't wanna say easier because, it's also a lot to film your life 24/7, but it has its own challenges, right? So, one thing I will say to close off this portion is if you're multi-passionate, I would say just try everything that tugs your heart at least one time and give it a good run. You know what I mean? Figure out, a timeline for you that works, and after that, make sure you reflect on it. Like, did you like it? Does it make it feel good? Is it easy? Is it challenging? Is it challenging but lights your heart on fire? Like, ask yourself all these questions, and you will learn a lot from yourself and what way you should be going. Coffee break before it gets cold. Mm, okay. Balancing newborn stages. So somebody just asked that. And so I am wondering if that means like how to balance your life with a newborn. Looking back, I did not take advantage of the newborn stage. Um, they're potatoes. They don't really need you except just to eat and cuddle with, like, which don't get me wrong, I love that and I will do that if I have another baby. But I think it's because if you're a new mom and it's your first baby, you think that you have a baby, you have to be with him 24/7, and believe me, Luna was with me 24/7, but I think looking back, I had the freedom to do a little bit more, And this is me learning from experience, right? Me having the baby. I think next time I'll feel a little bit less, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, mm, um, what's the word? Not imprisoned. um, I think I felt like I had to be around her 24/7, like, in case she needed anything. And again, I just think it's because I didn't know what I was doing and I was doing it for the first time. So all that to say is if you are struggling with balancing it all, number one, ask for help. Um, I could not have done it without my husband. My mom was here when Luna was a newborn. And so we did have the help a lot. And now that I'm talking about it, of course, it's going to be hard to balance because you're recovering, you're recuperating from either a C-section or a natural birth or vaginal birth, excuse me. And it's hard to be able to do it all at once. But I think once you're recovered, I think you have for me, it was mental. It was mental, like, I was always, like, on edge mentally, and looking back, I wish I could say to that girl, like, "Just breathe. Just take a deep breath and exhale, let it all out because you are okay. You are fine. The baby is fine." And, oh my gosh, that just kinda, like, healed something in me, sorry. That was weird. Like, I look back at that version of me, and I was so scared, nervous, which I had every right to be. I was a new mom. I had never done this before. And so I think that is the biggest thing is because you don't know what you're doing the first time. And I want to say that's totally okay, right? And that's like the beautiful part of it that you're learning with them. And if you decide to have another baby, that is like that's so cool that you're like, "Oh, wow, I've got this, like, I've learned, I went through it, I've experienced it, the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, that now you can see what's coming, you can feel a little bit more experienced, a little bit more chill, if you will, and you won't be so on edge." Again, I am not sure if I answered your question, but I hope that gave you a little bit of insight to your question. Ooh, we've been chatting for about 40 minutes. I was scared that I wasn't gonna have anything to talk about, to be totally honest, but I guess this girl wanted to yap today. Quick coffee break. Okay. Did I even talk about the first 2 weeks? That's so funny. I know I mentioned it, but I don't think I ever hit on it. So these first 2 weeks of the year have been really great. I'm talking about just personally, right? I set those systems in place. I have been doing my morning routine every single day. Y'all, I've been waking up at 5:30 in the morning every single day. And I just told Taz yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, that actually, no, it was Sunday night. I was nervous that I was not going to wake up feeling as excited and motivated to do the live workout on that Monday. And Monday came and I was up out of bed at 5:27. I woke up without the alarm and I was like, "What the heck is happening?" Again, it's like something in my body clicked and I've been feeling really great in the mornings. Of course, I'm a little bit sleepy when I get out of bed, but like within the 30 seconds, I'm like fully awake. And that is just so interesting to me. I think it has a lot to do with going to bed at the same time, around the same time, and then waking up at the same time. My Oura Ring has said that to me in the past, and I just never committed. And now I have to go to bed early because I need to be at my A game at the live workout on at 7 in the morning. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, for the app, my app, the Fit Club, I am doing a 25 live program. That is our January program for the year. And it is 25 live workouts with me for 25 days. We are on week 2, day 3 this week. By the time you hear this, we'll be on week 3, day 3 and it's 5 weeks. And this past week and a half has been so amazing. I've been starving because of how heavy I've been lifting and my body just feels so amazing. I can already tell a difference. Like I mentioned briefly, I gained a few pounds during the holiday break. I wasn't working out as much. We were traveling, then we came here and we had a full house and I just didn't have the time or I just didn't really care to have that as that wasn't a priority at the time. I wanted to spend time with my family, just kind of relax. And so working out kind of fell by the wayside. I would do a workout here and there, but it was never as consistent as I was before the holidays. And I ended up gaining weight. I think I gained like 8, maybe 9 pounds. And so funny. I just had a thought. I was talking to a friend of mine and I was telling her, "Oh yeah, no, I thought I was pregnant. No, I've just gained 10 pounds." If you heard last week's podcast, you know what I'm talking about, that I took 2 pregnancy tests because my body just felt off. It's because I was gaining weight. But anyway, I started the workout or the program, excuse me, on that Monday, and I felt heavy, sluggish a little bit. And today, as I was getting ready, um, I had finished my coffee. I just finished my morning routine. As I was getting ready, I was like, you know what? Let me just step on the scale, see what it says. Just like give me like a base where I was, right? Again, this is not like on an empty stomach, but whatever. And so I got on it and I think I was down like 3 pounds already, which I was like, whoa, that's amazing. I'm so proud of myself. Um, and reflecting, I was like, oh yeah, I'm moving better. I don't feel as sluggish anymore. And it's been really, really great to see the, result of my hard work. And so, if anybody's listening and you wanna be encouraged, come on to the challenges or come on to the workouts at 7 in the morning Central. You will feel so challenged, but you will feel so empowered. We have a bunch of girls joining us every single morning, and if you can't join us at 7 in the morning, that's totally okay. The workout will be available to you after to do it after. I know this is gonna be week 3 when you hear this, but the program is gonna be there forever. You can choose to jump in at the same day that we're doing, or you can just decide to do day 1. But if you wanna do lives, they're gonna be at 7 in the morning Central every morning on the app. I will put the link to the app in the description, if you're interested, but you are always welcome. It's gonna be here whenever you're ready, and we will welcome you with open arms. But back to the 2 first weeks of the year. I've been feeling good. I've stuck to my schedule and I keep saying that because I feel like for my journal entries, that's what I keep resonating with and keep repeating because that was something that's such a big hindrance in my life. It was like that one thing that kept me from doing everything else, if that makes sense. And so I'm just very, very proud of myself for sticking to what I said I was going to do. And I've said this before in the past. Someone always asks me, like, oh, how do you gain confidence? How do you have the confidence? And something that I read years ago, this was when we were at our old apartment in Houston. Well, we are in Houston, but was uh, confidence is doing what you said you were going to do. And that is so true. Like, nobody needs to know what you want to do for yourself. But if you show up and take care of it and you do it, you're going to be confident 100%. Like, nobody can tell me different. Like, something so small as like making your bed. If you make your bed, or actually, I should say, if you want to make your bed and for some reason you don't because you're lazy, you don't have time, whatever, but if you make a point to make your bed, I guarantee you that you're gonna feel so proud of yourself and you're gonna feel so confident. And you're gonna be like, I can take over the world now. You know what I mean? So it's just doing what you said you were gonna do. And you're gonna see how each thing that you said is gonna do is gonna keep compounding and your confidence is gonna skyrocket. One last thing I wanted to share. We're at 47 minutes already. Give me a second. I have coffee that's waiting for me. So one thing I wanted to share, especially now as we're still so close to the new year, is a lot of us reflect on things, what could go right, if we're on the right path, like so on and so forth. And this is something that I've never shared before. And I don't know why it's on my heart to share now, but a couple years back, right before I started this podcast, actually, I was going through what Yami always goes through. I'm like debating if I'm on the right path, if I am doing what I should be doing with my life, if this is all just a big waste of time, if I should go get a 9 to 5, a real career, quote unquote. And at the same time, I kept seeing, actually, I've only saw it twice on TikTok, but I saw these 2 TikToks. And one of them, I shall say they're both like relationship based. Essentially, what these girls did is they prayed and they asked God to show them if the guy they were with was the guy they were supposed to be with. And how they did that was, and I know this is going to sound kind of woo woo for some people, but just stick with me. Stick with me. What they did was like they created a word for themselves, like in their head. They prayed and they said, God, if I am in the, if this guy is meant to be with me, or if I'm meant to be with this guy, show me this word or whatever. And excuse me. And then, you go on with your life and see what happens. So I said, this is so interesting. I'm gonna try it. But I was scared. I was so scared because this has happened in the past, but not to this extreme. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it, but I'm gonna go a little bit, like, I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna do I'm gonna ask God to give me this word if I'm on the right path. And then I said, but if I'm on the wrong path, I'm gonna need you to give me this word. Like, I need you to make it clear. And so I didn't tell anybody that I was doing that. Not a single soul. I didn't tell Taz. I didn't tell anybody. And so I'll never forget. I remember the night I prayed and I said, give me this word or give me this word, whatever it is. And I said, Amen. Weeks go by. I'm talking about like maybe even months. And I hear nothing. And I was like, well, I'm back at square one. I don't know. Like, I'm still debating my life. Like, whatever. I have a baby now. Like, what am I supposed to do? And on a random day, I went to Taz's old job and I saw a girl there that I hadn't seen in a long time. And we're talking, catching up. And all of a sudden she says, oh my gosh, I saw that you want to launch a podcast. That's so cool. I want to show you this girl that I just found. And I was like, oh my God, show me. As she's sharing her phone screen with me, she goes, oh, she's a ballerina. And y'all, when I heard that word come out of her mouth, like, I started tearing up because that word, ballerina, was the word that I chose if I was on the right path. And I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about it. And the thing she said next was like complete confirmation that this was from the Lord. And so she said, yeah, she's a ballerina. Her name is Luna. Y'all, I just about lost it. I said, what did you say? She goes, "Yeah, she's a ballerina, her name is Luna." And then I told her the whole story, and then she was like, "Oh my gosh, how cool is God that he did that?" And so I wanted to choose a word that was, like, obviously in the English language, but it's not something that you would say day to day, like, that's you know and so that was my word. That happened, and y'all, I kid you not, ever since that moment, I prayed and I said, "Lord, game on." And ever since that moment, my career has just steadily taken off. And I am just so grateful that I did that and that I listened and that he did that. You know what I mean? All that to say is that pray. I don't talk about my faith very often. Um, and I have my own reasons. I just feel like I'm not the best Christian. Like, I don't know a lot of the Bible. And I don't want to say the wrong things to offend anybody. Like, for some reason, I'm just like very to myself about it, but my faith is one of the strongest things about me and something that I hold very close and very dearly. And I say that because if you're ever at a point in your life where you feel lost or confused on what should be doing, what steps you should take, um, pray and he will guide you. And I say that now, and I've been thinking about this because I I just did this again, and what has been revealed is actually insane and, Taz and I are processing it and figuring out what the next steps are. Um, it's nothing bad. Don't it's just very, we feel a transition, and that's all I'm gonna say, for now until we figure out what the next steps are, but again, I just wanted to encourage you to pray. I wanted to share that because I think that we forget that miracles still happen and God is still talking to us. We just need to listen. And we need to hear the stories of the miracles, right? And this might not be a miracle for anybody, but for me, it was for sure a miracle. It was the step that I needed to take to to be in my calling, like, it's like I had permission to do what I'm doing and do it the way I wanted to do it and know that I am where I'm supposed to be, if that makes any sense, but anyway, I have talked your ear off. I feel like this might be the longest solo podcast ever. I had so much fun. Let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to touch on anything. This was so fun. Thank you so much for letting me talk your ear off. Don't forget to pray and ask the Lord to guide you. And I promise you that He will. All you have to do is listen. But I am all done. I'm gonna hop off before we hit the 60-minute mark. Let me know if you like these longer episodes or if you want me to keep them nice and short. Um, I'm having so much fun doing these podcasts, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. Um, and again, I'll leave a link to the app if you want to check that out. But that is it. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye.